Oh, man. Oh, as if it wasn't, or if it was possible for me to love Poland even more. Gosh, you guys are just amazing. You really are, little European Texas. And at this point, I'm starting to feel like you embody the American spirit kind of better than we do.
I'm very flattered you would say something like that, Buff. I think we have bonded very much over these last couple years of our mutual hatred for Slavic special ed. I don't know if you're aware, but there are people here in Poland who pretend and they cosplay like they're in what do you call it, a trailer park in Ohio. And since the Sun people have their what the fuck you call it, pilgrimage that they go to pet some big square rock in Saudi Arabia, why don't we just start sending Polish to Ohio in trailer park and that'd be like their pilgrimage?
I'm struggling to find a flaw in this logic. Personally, though, I think you should probably stay in one of the southern states. That seems like the most American areas that you can find. But anyways, why do we love Poland now? I mean, we do, but why? What happened?
So basically, when your president said that the airspace over Venezuela was closed, we echoed that because in a show of solidarity with our American friends.
Okay. I mean, it's awesome, but why is that so special?
Because the guy who said it was a member of the Polish, government, right? And dude's just based as fuck. I know Mrs. Linecrosser hates when I use that word, but there's nothing else that really just hits this. And if you guys don't have an X or a Twitter account, you're missing out, okay? So anyways, dude posted that, and then a bunch of people in the comment section started running their mouth, and dude's in there clapping back at people, tell them to take baths because they fucking stink and all sorts of shit. Probably the coup de grace, the piece de resistance in there. Somebody was talking about Islam and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you mean that religion that fantasizes, or what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, so we're just gonna go with fantasizes about their deity or whatever being intimate with a 9-year-old girl." And I was like, "Holy shit! It's rare to find that kind of just public prejudice. It's great."
They can still say stuff like that because we don't allow them here. It's nothing against them, just make your own country better instead of bringing your problems to Poland.
Oh God, that sounds so efficient and nice. Uncle Sam, can I go to Poland?
You are clear for landing anywhere in the country.
I love you, Poland, but no, kid, no. No.
Oh, sad raptor noises. Maybe someday, little European Texas.
They can't keep us apart forever. That's the thing about America. Eventually, every weapon goes on sale.
So, do you think you can just shut down the airspace here in my country? And you can stop people from coming in and out, and then we're just going to be fine with it? Look, this is being very, very stupid. How about we have a conversation and we work through this together?
I got a better idea, dude. What if the stealthy US crater maker pays you a fucking visit?
I'm sorry, dude. You just got way too much oil to be running your mouth like that. Okay. I'm going to be your next Vietnam.
Oh, wow. You're going to get bodied in every major engagement. We're going to have a kill-death ratio of 5-1, and then eventually you're going to run to another country, and they're going to send a whole bunch of me to bomb you into submission, and then you're going to sign a peace accord that you violate 3 years later. By that time, we're just tired of playing the game, and we leave. So it's a long way of getting to something, but I guess you jungle Mexicans can have it your way.
Buff! Don't call them that. We can... This is kind of strange. We can wage war without using slurs.
No, see, here's the thing. Everyone assumes when you put Mexican after something, it's a slur, which is really offensive to the Mexicans. I mean, seriously. But anyways, no, that's not a slur. Guacamole gangster's a slur. Fucking landscaping legionnaires, that's a slur.
Those both seem like they're slurs for Mexicans.
I mean, really, isn't everybody in Central and South America just some different flavor of Mexican?
Literally no.
America, I don't know if you saw that our little space shuttle launch site suffered some damage in the last launch, but both cosmonauts and your American astronaut all made it up to the ISS. Wait a minute. Aren't we mad at these guys? Like, haven't we sanctioned the living shit out of them? Why are we hitching a ride on their rockets? Also, super fucking dangerous.
Some would argue that it's manufactured outrage, but in reality, all countries' space programs have been kind of a gray area. Like, even during the Cold War, we worked together with the Russians. Albeit limited, but we did. What kind of damage we talking? You know, messed up gantry crane, maybe there's the launch pad. Oh my god, it's all fucked. Okay. Yeah, your entire launch pad is destroyed. Why in the fuck did I strap one of my astronauts into your rocket?
I told you. It's fine. They all did perfectly fine. The launch pad is designed to be able to break. The parts that are not supposed to break go up into space. And they went up there perfectly fine.
And now they're probably going to live up there in fucking perpetuity because they're going to have to wait for the next time an American rocket goes up there to bring them back home in one fucking piece. Getting up there ain't hard. Getting back down. Yeah, that's the hard part right there.
The Challenger disaster would say otherwise.
One goddamn time. That's the exception, not the rule, you fucking frostback. Oh wait, no, that's Canada, sorry. No harm, no foul, dear bud. I understand. It was a moment of, what's that I'm talking about? Excitement there. The Great White North is always fine.
It's going to be great to have those guys on our team. We're just going to start calling you 51.
America, I know that I don't really have room to talk here, but how are you holding up after you had 2 National Guard members shot in D.C.?
We imported this problem. I'm going to break everything here, and there's going to be a big fourth wall break. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but in 2021, in August, I got a phone call while I was at my 1-year wedding anniversary. I was on vacation with my wife. My sergeant major told me to get on a plane Monday morning. I had no idea where I was going, what was going to happen. I was sent to Fort Pickett, Virginia. I was living in Farmville, Virginia, and driving 45 minutes one way to Fort Pickett. I was part of Task Force Pickett. I was in the G cell under Brigadier General Harrison and Command Sergeant Major Calvo. She's retired now. We had no idea who the fuck was coming into this country. These individuals would give us fake names every single day when they would show up for any kind of in-processing. We in-processed typhoid. We brought in malaria. There was every disease known to man came through our fucking borders, and we were trying our best to protect ourselves in the midst of fucking COVID. I can remember being in one of the general's meetings because I worked in the G cell, and we were talking about how many Afghans walked off the base. And I said, hey, we're on a secure federal installation. We should probably contain them. And he said, legally, we can't do that. And I said, well, legally, they're not citizens. And they're like, yeah, we had Customs and Border Patrol there, every branch of service, including the Space Force. Space Force got us our satellite internet and stuff like that. And I was not so politely asked to leave that meeting when I said we should have CBP sitting outside the gate. And if they want to walk off the installation and not tell us who the fuck they are, they need to be put back on a plane and sent back overseas, because all we're doing is importing people we don't know. Meanwhile, I was watching my country at Fort Pickett alone. There were 7 of these installations, like Fort Bliss, Fort Pickett, Quantico, Virginia, Fort Lee, Virginia. There was a couple other ones. Each of those bases individually were hemorrhaging over $1 million a week to take care of these people who didn't give a fuck about assimilating into the American lifestyle. And now we have one that worked with U.S. forces that shot 2 of them in D.C., and another one in Texas was just arrested for making a TikTok about making a bomb in Fort Worth. The American logistics infrastructure of the U.S. military was stretched to a level that no other country can comprehend. We moved 150,000 people 3,000 miles in a week and a half. I was watching these individuals get full health care, full dental, all their shots, room and board, as much food as they wanted to eat, and they were still fashioning shanks and stealing from one another. On several occasions, they would take a shit on the ground right next to the porta-johns that were outside that eventually were upgraded to trailers that had running water. They would still do this. Bear in mind, we had contractors cleaning those bathrooms 3 times a day, and they would still shit on the ground. And everyone said, well, it's just because they don't know. Bullshit. There was a tent outside that I had put a sign on the side of in paper that was translated into Arabic with Google Translate that said, mosque. They managed not to shit in there. It wasn't because they were stupid. It's because they didn't fucking care. Are there good people who immigrated here during Operation Allies Welcome, Ally Refuge, Afghan Welcome, whatever? It changed every week while I was part of the mission. Yes, absolutely. I would never say that there are not good people who came here and assimilated and began living the American way of life. But we have no idea who the staggering majority of them are. I very, very rarely blame any president for anything, and I try and stay as apolitical as I possibly can, but this situation is very near and dear to my heart. And the last administration, when we had 4 years, a weekend at fucking Bernie's, he brought in 150,000 potential threats to American lives. So to him and his wonderful General Milley, fuck both of you for what you made us turn a blind eye to and act like it was okay.
I still want to laugh at the weekend at Bernie's comment. God, it was good. America.
As if today couldn't get any worse. What in the fuck do you want, West Taiwan? Before you interject, I just want to go ahead and point out, in recent history, you've had one bridge collapse that was brand new, and then you also had a giant multiple building fire, probably because OSHA and fire codes are non-existent in fucking West Taiwan. So go ahead.
Why the fuck are you being so mean today?
Oh, nothing. Just something I've wanted to warn people about for 4 years that's finally come to fruition.
Well, to be fair, Uncle Sam, I've been telling people about the minorities for like 60 years. Oh, well, yeah, it's worth a shot.
Now on to something a little bit lighter. Is Campbell's chicken noodle soup, or, well, Campbell's soup in general, made with 3D printed meat? Technically, all meat is 3D printed because you grow, like animals grow. You know what I mean, that it was made by a machine. And then he just proceeded to say that you guys made shit for poor people. I don't know, jury's still out on that. Campbell's seems to claim that it's 100% real, and they can test it if they want to. And the whole poor thing, that was really in bad taste. Dude is like super fired.
Rule number 1 of capitalism. Don't tell the poors that they're poor.
I thought rule number 1 of capitalism was anything we have to do to make sure we beat communism.
No. I think that's one of the fat electrician's rules. That, and it's only a war crime the first time, and there's no metrics on the moon. Kind of interchangeable. They're all kind of number 1 depending on at what point you talk to him and how many White Claws he's had. Also, Beans on Toast, I've been meaning to talk to you. You arrested some guy because he posted a picture of himself holding a shotgun. A picture he took in Florida, where that's legal. Anybody else feeling like there should be a crusade?
Yes, since birth.
It was all a misunderstanding. And he posted it on social media, which made it public. And of course, if you're making something public that is illegal in my country, then, of course, we're going to investigate it within the full extent of the law. Yeah, no, I get that. But here's the thing. You guys arrested him, which in the U.S. you would have to get an arrest warrant for, signed by a judge. And the judge would have to agree with why you're arresting the individual, okay? Then you confiscated all his personal electronic devices, including his computer, which he used for work. So he wasn't able to work during that time, which, again, you would need a warrant for to seize, okay, in the United States. And then you just kind of quietly gave it all back to him and dropped the charges when you realized you were stupid. That's a very watered down look at it, but yes, more or less. Eventually, we got to the point where we realized it was all wrong.
Look, there are those out there in the world that are saying you're using social media as your own personal police force, where you can just arrest people for whatever, and that's really fucking concerning.
I swear, you Brits never learn from history. People cannot report you when you use your secret police if they never show back up. Fuck. I fucked that up 80 years ago. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry still. It's very bad. I'll not do it again. Okay?